Hi, thank you for joining me for the interview with Kathryn Toomey, the creator of this deck. Just to let you know that I stuffed up the recording and you will only see her on it, but she's the main superstar of this interview. So I hope you enjoy it and I look forward to hearing any feedback. And if you love the deck, the link's below to get a client of mine. And we're just going to jump right in. So firstly, Kathryn, I love the pillow. It's awesome. Let's first have a little chat about who you are and then how you came to make this deck, and then we'll have a play with the deck. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. Yes, so I am a massage therapist. I work had my own business from about 2019. And I was just kind of getting to I have a children's book as well, actually a published children's book, which I absolutely love. And I think I just made a lot of friends in that space. And I was trying to get my head around how I was going to join my skills into something that was solid. And I have a Reiki 1 and I have a Reiki 2. And I was looking at your card creator course and I thought, oh, wow, imagine if I did a Reiki card set. That would just be my ultimate dream. And so I think that's kind of what started the processes, I suppose. Interestingly, these are completely different to how I imagined, but in a really kind of amazing way. That's just so much more about my futuristic life sort of choices, as opposed to this kind of gentle quafting of I don't know, like the angelic realms. I'm not really very good at doing that because I'm a Scorpio moon, so I'm very kind of sharp and punky and
And you
yeah,
go deep. You want to go deep.
I go deep. Yeah, like all the kind of the watery kinds of things. And so so I started, and it did take a while, I think, from when I joined. But it wasn't because I was not doing the cards. I got involved in a whole lot of book projects. So I did 4 sort of co-author books to sponsor my journey through massage therapy and really just the whole COVID thing, if we could even. So a little bit of that. And then I think what really got me was being able to have really being able to have the cards made, because even though I love AI and I love playing around with the resources, I started to realize that for me to make a course for myself was going to take like 365 days times 5 or something, and there's just no way that I could have sort of gone through that process, because in my children's book I did all the photography and I did all the photoshopping, so I was really interested in that and I was super keen to delve into that process, but I couldn't bring it all together, and it's worked out really well because I really love this, and it's sort of helped me on that whole journey through AI that people have been on over the last few years, so that now I'm all over it. Now I don't have that fear that I've missed something. And even though, I'm a busy mum, I've got 2 older daughters in university that live with their grandparents. I have a young daughter, a 9-year-old, who's with me, and she had a lot of inspiration just in her enjoyment of hearing me say, I'm working on the cards. And so, it was kind of quite a family experience, I would say, for us.
Well, thank you for sharing. It was a great pleasure to help you with this deck. So just to explain to people, so I was able to generate these images. It was quite a while ago, actually, in Midjourney. They're quite old, but they were stunning from the beginning, right? Like they just had a frequency. And, a lot of people criticize AI and they push back, but I feel like I've been able to create things that I'd never be able to create without it. And of course, we always acknowledge that there's AI for bad and AI for good, and we're on the side of good. I can see your cat strolling over behind you too, having a seat. Cats love card decks and Zoom. So I think it's been really precious to be able to take like these beautiful images and put your words on them and be able to put them out into the world. So congratulations on doing that. I know it's significant, and I love how your daughter was involved as well. Would you like to just shuffle the cards and pull one for us while we're here?
Yeah. I was just going to just say on that, I did spend about 6 months with the wording. And I think because I have the Reiki 1 and 2, and it's not really something I use, I feel like these cards really kind of broke the egg or you know, in a naturistic kind of way, just gave me a sense of being able to use that energy for something that can still have a really beautiful esoteric feel, which I really like.
Yes, it's like they're infused into the tangible.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I spent about 6 months on the actual
because I think we've got 52 cards in here, 54 cards actually.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of words, people, and we haven't just gone with a phrase or something. You've gone, quite deep there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm struggling to shuffle, so just give me a sec.
So while you do that, I'm just going to say these are 3.5 by 5 inches. And you've got the card. I'll come back to this. You go.
Yes. So we've got
Radiance. Oh, I love that. Okay, read it to us.
Card though. There.
Oh, that's a perfect card for that.
Isn't it just so beautiful?
Yep, love it. It's very cosmic geometry.
Yeah.
Do you want to read that out to us?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Because it's hard to read on the screen.
Yeah. With warmth, beauty, and positivity, you're a bright, glowing energy with the qualities of sunlight and brilliance, attractiveness, with a vibrant vitality influencing both emotional and environmental factors.
Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you. What I want to share with people too is so when you're doing this tuck box and just cards, it's quite expensive if your camera keeps moving, by the way.
Yeah, it does. I know.
It's making me seasick.
Sorry.
So what I always suggest is if you can do a deck without a book, it works really well from a price point of view, an effort point of view. The books can be quite a bit of a nightmare. They're technically quite challenging. They're almost the hardest bit of a deck to do once you've got your images and stuff. So I always suggest that people have guide cards. So what we did with Kathryn's is we have about the creator. The deck's also available online on the Deckable app. So we have a QR code that people can just take a photo with their phone, and that will open it up. And then we have a bit about pyramids as power sources, and then about the deck and how to use the deck. So I like to make the guide cards all look similar so people know that these are the guides. And then what we've done with this deck is it's a double-sided deck, which I like. I like that each side is different. And some people worry, I'm going to, I've got to close my eyes, because it's not a surprise when they all look the same, right? But I think you could even look at these and just energetically feel the pull of one. And this is abundance, which I'm working on at the moment. So that's gorgeous. Or you can just close your eyes. So I think you've done a beautiful job bringing it to life. Now, you've had a bit of a unique experience. Like, obviously, you've worked with me on the deck, and then you've gone with a publisher. So I'd love to share with people about the publishing side that you've gone, like the journey that you went on.
Yeah, for sure. So I was so inspired, and I thought the cards were so beautiful, and I really wanted to stay close to a presentation that was acceptable for me. And so I approached the same publisher that I have my children's book with, and they're an alternative, beautiful publisher called White Light Publishing. And I originally won my publishing contract with them at the Mind Body Spirit Festival in Melbourne. So I feel I was presented with such a generous, like the gods were really taking care of me on that one day, because from there I just feel like, I feel like that book is coming back all the time now, because having the cards be with that publisher is such an inspiration, because there's two things that can come together. And these cards were only released in December, so it's been quite a joyous experience. I have 2 stockists. And so I think it was just an easy experience for me because I just made the request, asked them if it was possible to use them as a publisher, and they agreed. And yeah, so the books are available on their website as well as my website, and then I have some stockists as well.
So I've got a few questions, so if you don't mind. So is White Light's what we would call a hybrid publisher? So you pay for the printing and stuff like that? Is that how it works?
Well, yes, sort of. I mean, do you know what? Again, it was like the little fairies just lifted me up and just took me into a conversation where I was just nodding my head, and then I hung up, and then I was like, yes, what was that? How did that even happen? So I kind of don't want to discuss too much because it really was.
Sounds like it's unique to your situation.
Exactly, yeah, because I know the publisher changed hands in between. And I just think they were keen to have the cards. And so we kind of did a deal where they got some cards and I got some cards. And I paid for the publishing. I paid for the publishing, which included the printing. So I think that is how it came about. So that I got, a number of cards to be able to use in my sources. And then the publisher allowed me to use their logo and all the kind of professional detailing that I wanted. They helped me get it printed. I just pressed a button and paid some money. They did everything. And as well with you helping with the box design was a bit of a big deal because I've got I'm with massage, just so hands-on, and you don't get to, by the time I get in front of a computer to kind of move something for a millimeter, I'm like, no, I'm not.
You're done. I love it. Yeah, and they've done a lovely job. So tell us a little bit about the two stockists that you have and how that happened, because a lot of people are curious about that. I would love someone who would just go out and stock my stuff. I'm not like, I'm the person that just wants to stay in my office and create things, right? So I'm always curious, and think people are very brave when they go and get stockists. So tell us your story of that.
Yeah. Well, I think it was good because I just chucked the cards in with my other co-author books that I had previously had book launches for. So I had sort of my ears around the place for the sort of crystal shops and esoteric bookshops. The first place was Athena Bookshop, which is run by a lady that has the High Priestess boxes, and she runs a witch school, and she's runs the bookshop in Apollo Bay called Athena. And I went in there and said, hello, my name's Kathryn, and will you take my cards and my children's book? And she was like, yes, of course. So they went. And then there's another bookshop really close to me called Temple of the Divine, which is just up from Paran on Chapel Street in Melbourne. And she just took some books and the cards straight on, sold a set of the cards, I think. And yeah, we've just made it available. I guess it is available.
And are you also selling on Etsy and your website, right?
Yeah. So we do have it for sale on Etsy as well. So I've sold a couple through Etsy.
Yeah. Well, I really love what you're doing. I actually went to school in Paran, Windsor, so I know Chapel Street very well, and I don't know that bookshop. So next time I go to Chapel Street, I'll have to check it out. And how much are you selling these for at the moment?
So $33.
Yeah, great. And then postage on top of that.
Yeah, so there's a $10 postage. But if I know people that are going to be somewhere, or friends or people, I keep a couple in the car.
Yeah,
because that
always have some in the boot, in a box. Same with your books. And also they make great gifts, right? I'm sure you found that. It's like, oh, I can give this as a gift because I know this person's going to love it. Or if you're working with clients, say you've got massage clients, the book, a package of 6, here you get a free deck. It can be used in all sorts of different ways.
Yeah, I think what I love is that because of the meditation, mindfulness, and also altar decoration is another really huge. If you're a crystal sort of, I've got the biggest collection of
I've
crystals.
got tons of crystals here.
And I just find that these cards go so nicely next to the crystals because they have that color.
Yeah, even if you're just looking at the images themselves,
Yeah.
like these on a
Yeah.
these on an altar just look beautiful.
Yeah.
Because and what we've done with this, even though it's AI, I feel like it's got infused with that sacred pyramid energy that we love.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I did because I really like the channeling guides as well. So I have some connections to a few people that do channeling of different sort of, what do you call it, like light language. I really love the light language. I don't want to do it, but I really get inspired when I hear the light language, and there are just some specific people that are really quite amazing. So I really wanted to infuse the card. So I do have a card here that does have some light language on it.
Oh, yes. Yep, I've got that one here. Yep.
And I just really liked being able to put something on there, again, with the Scorpio moon, Kathryn, but I really wanted to put something on there that was really galactic, because my interest in galactic stars and that sort of relationship to humans and energy and all that kind of stuff, that started so long ago. Like in my early 20s, I was into those people that were channeling those books from the Pleiades and the Galactic Star and all of that kind of stuff. And I didn't know that it was going to, like, that's what I was going to end up presenting. But I find these cards are really, they're quite masculine, I think. Like, they're just quite...
They've got a strength to them, I think. Like, they're quite powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of feminine stuff. As you know, I love the juicy feminine, and I'm at a phase at the moment where I'm doing a lot of masculine stuff. And so I get what you're meaning about the energy. I found these are much more like the masculine images than what I normally...
Yeah, I think for me that's because I think space is that way. Even if I link it to with my daughter when she was home and we were in a lockdown, and we turn on the desktop and we watch the moon landing.
No, Grace, sorry, I did warn them.
Oh, okay, no worries. My cat.
I'm not cutting this out, everyone. I'm not that person. I am a mum with kids who like to barge in. So back to you, the galactic masculine.
Yeah,
yes,
no,
I love that.
We put the moon, the landing on the moon, which is available on YouTube, on for my daughter to watch, because I really felt like I was getting so grounded, but I also felt like my head was getting buried in dirt, and I was like, no, like, get me out of this lockdown. So I thought, how can I start to inspire myself to get out of that? So I just started watching a whole lot of things to do with the moon landing and satellites, and how far technology and how far humanity has come. And I really stick with that as a goal for when I'm feeling depressed. I find that the best way for me to snap out of it is to actually focus on, like, the whole humanity of being alive, and the incredible force that comes from being a member of the earth, and that kind of relationship, rather than, because I'm not really that good at going and meditating, I will say, although I do attempt to meditate, but I don't really think that I am. In some way, I always think
it's meta you going, oh, look at Kathryn.
I'm meditating.
And I will say, just so people know, so Kathryn and I live in the same state, which is Victoria in Australia, and it's the most locked down place in the world. So there was a lot going on here during that period, 2020 onwards. So, I can see why you needed to ground into sort of hopefulness almost, what I mean?
Yes, exactly. I find this galactic experience is such a hopeful agenda. And even because I love 4D, like I love like 3D, and then there's AI, and then but I love how we can connect in the form of technology, but it's also, if you look at it, it's also a connection of spirituality, because there's also these channels and these people that are just springing up everywhere. Everybody I know is much more amazing now than they were like 2 years ago. like that everyone is upgraded, as they, you know, coin the phrase, into just being more amazing, hopefully more successful. And in that kind of line of spirituality, I just love that idea. So that there's still that quiet bookstore, esoteric bookstore that you can walk around the corner from, which I love. But there's also all these amazing companies like Awakenings with, you know, the magazine and the YouTube channels and the, well, I think it's my little daughter's encouragement of getting into YouTube and this, whereas I would have just been like, there used to be some magazine like years and years ago that would sponsor massage therapy and Reiki and crystals and all the different kind of esoteric modalities that there are, rolfing, I don't know, all those things. I can't remember what it was called. And there are a lot of magazines that do. There's like the Wellbeing magazine is pretty good as well. But I just really love heightening the idea of being spiritual to a place where it becomes something that's more than just, you know, more than just one thing. It's just many things that can become
multidimensional. And I think
yes,
different things will appeal to different people. Like I've been working on music with AI, and there's something just so profound about sound, right?
Yes.
As a transmission. And
yes,
even though I'm doing like pop songs, the meanings are like I'm working on 4 albums, and I've got one's called what's it called, the sacred ones, and it's like the return of the sacred ones, you know. So it's like you can pretty much create anything, and then put it out there, and it can support people. But also it's, I don't know about you, but for me it's the pure joy of creating as well.
Yes, absolutely. And the synchronicity of putting things out into the world is just such a special gift to be able to do. Like I'm the 1-3, even in human design, I'm like the creative, the person that must create,
the person who wants to know everything and then experiment like crazy. So beautiful. Well, I want to thank you for your time and for sharing your beautiful deck. I will be sharing, you know, where people can contact you and get the deck for themselves. I hope everyone loves it as much as I do, and it's been a great pleasure to work on this project with you, and I wish you great success with this and every other thing you're going to create going forward.
Thank you so much, Ayesha. It was so nice to speak with you. It really was. I've been looking forward to it for such a long time. Thank you.
I normally ask this question, and we've said goodbye, but I'm just going to pop it in. I was going to ask you if you had any advice for people who are just starting out as well, who haven't done their deck yet.
Yeah, I think the best advice, and this is to myself as well, is to not stress if it feels like it's taking a long time. Give it all the time that it needs, because you'll know when it's ready, and then it's ready.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think the other thing that I noticed with you is that you had one idea at the beginning, but you were open, and then you actually had a totally different deck come out than what you were expecting.
Yeah, it is on the Deckable as well. This one is on Deckable. I think it's because the words, I spent such a long time trying to find meaningful words like empathic, magical, healing, reflection, worthy, anchoring, because I'm very emotional, and in massage you don't use words. And so this is such a reflection of, I mean, you use words, but it's like, how nice weather, and, you know, and how are you? And but it's not, nothing is really emotional. And even in counseling, or even in, you know, sort of if you're working with people in the spectrum and things like that, you don't just use this one. Another one of my favorites actually is anchoring.
Oh, I love that.
You don't just use a word. And so these are much more like the affirmation. They're more of an affirmation, but they're also a little bit of oracle, because I think that the card colors are just beautiful. And so I just I enjoy the way they came together, because to me they feel individual, and that it's really important for me to have created something that I've never seen before, and that if I saw, I'd pick up. I know that sounds vain, but it's not like I'm going, oh, my stuff is
you're allowed a little bit of vanity. Totally fine. But it's even like, I don't even think of these as affirmations. They're more, to me, like little bits of wisdom, you know, that people can take on board. Like I've got acceptance. So embracing your reality without judgment, fostering inner peace and healthier relationships. And I feel like you can look at that card and get the energy from it. So yes, well, thank you for those tips for the people who haven't yet started.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best. And
thank you.
You can get Kathryn's deck in the links below.
Thank you so much.